Hey everyone, how's everyone doing today on this fine Saturday, this fine weekend? Just wanted to touch in and see how everyone was doing, what everyone was up to. Comment in the comment box. Let me know what y'all doing this weekend and this Saturday. It's October. It's the end of the month. It's a beautiful month, beautiful season. I love fall. I love every season, period. I love every season because I love the variety of atmosphere with it, the variety of vibes. I could never live somewhere where there's just one season, where if it's just warm all the time or just cold. I could never do that. I could never live there. I need different atmospheres, different vibes. I'm like that with multiple ways. I just made a first video, but it cut off. I don't know if I'm going to post it or whatnot, but I was saying some of this in the previous video I was just making, but yeah, I can't live anywhere either for a very long time. I need to move. Like, the longest I stay somewhere is anywhere from 6 months to a year or two. 2 years tops. I mean, there's been multiple times where I've moved within 6 months. I'll be on a month-to-month contract, and I'll just stay 2, 3, 4 months, how long ever. Not too long. I like to travel and move and see different areas, live in different places, meet different people. I'm like that, and that's what I'm also going to be mentioning. I'm doing van life. I'm sure if you guys whoever followed me already or knows me, I post on social media, Facebook, the gram, LinkedIn, even TikTok. I posted everywhere about van life and that I want to do it. I've been wanting to do it for a couple years now. I've been looking into it, just researching all the different types of vans that are out there, all the different types of builds, how to build them out, how much it costs, where you can all go. There's a lot of things that are involved with it, but it's not complicated. You don't have to make it complicated. There's people that take a couple hours and build out their van. There's a guy seen built out his van in like an hour even. And then there's people that take months and years to build one out. It just depends on what you want to do. And the guy that even built his out in an hour, it was a pretty dang nice build even. It was nice. Like, it wasn't too crazy, but it was simple, and it was comfortable. Like, he had a bed, he had, his clothes. There was a bar that wasn't already in the van it was like a little type of ledge that was already in the van. And so he just hung all his clothes on that. He had a 3-drawer plastic dresser that he got from Walmart. He has clothes in there. He had another little shelf thing. He had a cooler. He had this really good cooler. I think he said he paid like $50 for, which, you didn't have to plug in or nothing, which you have to buy, which when you get a really good cooler like that, you only have to buy ice like once a week. The ice lasts like 5 to 7 days in a cooler like that. He showed us. He said he had ice in there for a week. I was already a week in there of still ice in there. So a bag of ice is what, $2-3? So you spend like $10 a month. That's the same as what you would spend on, your power and plug-ins, everything else, whatever how you would do it with your food and stuff, food and beverages with it, whether it was power, solar, whatever, because it still takes time turning stuff on, plugging it in, electricity, it's still time, where it's yeah, you still have to get the ice and pour it in, but like setting up a solar system and a power system takes way more time. It takes you at least a few hours to set that up, and so that few hours compared to pouring in a bag of ice that takes 30 seconds. You're in a gas station getting other things anyways. That's so it's like, yeah, it's like a minute of your time every week, once a week. So like, that's 4 or 5 minutes a month. That's 5 minutes, say, a month times 5, 25, 50. That's an hour a year. That's 3 years compared to, putting into a solar system, and that's just putting one in. That's not maintaining it, But yeah, you're just like anything else, like with a fridge, you're putting stuff in there and taking it out anyways, food and stuff. So the time really isn't a thing. Like, you're definitely saving, and it's easier. Now, if you want a TV in your vehicle, in your van, a TV and run that, yeah, you're gonna need probably some sort of power system, solar system or a battery or God, what is it? What is it? Well, for one, you can also have God, why can't I think of words right now? A generator. You can either have a solar system, a generator, a battery supply, an extra, just a really good extra battery. Build yourself a little box, put that battery in, hook it up, get yourself a converter. Oh yeah, a converter you can get too or it's like a power supply and converter in one for AC and DC voltage. Anyone that doesn't know what AC DC voltage is, inside your house is AC. It's alternate current. It's going back and forth. Direct current is just one way. But yeah, I'm going to be doing van life. You can travel all over the country, all over the world. You can have your van shipped to other countries. So after you travel throughout all this country, you can go to different countries, have it shipped over there. It's not expensive to have it shipped over. A couple $100. To be able to travel and live in another country, it's well worth it. And other countries are very cheap to live in. You can live very, very well in other countries that are actually nice too for cheap. And so with van life, you can have the mountains and lakes and oceans as your front yard and your backyard. You can lay there and go to sleep and live while you're watching a big beautiful lake with big beautiful mountains in the back of it with snow on the mountains and deer running around and mountain goats and mountain lion, all sorts of awesome animals around you and bears and elk and tigers and lions and giraffes and zebras. But yeah, that's what I love, because one week I'm going to be having the ocean as my front yard, and the next week I'm going to be having mountains with snow and lakes as my front yard. Like literally my front yard. Like there's so many places where you can go and park, and I'm right here and the ocean is right there. The lakes are right there. The mountains are right there. It's incredible. Van life is amazing. You save so much money too. You're not paying rent. All you're paying is your gas and your insurance. And you're paying gas and insurance any other time as well as your rent and mortgage when you're living. So that's all you're paying then. And so you save so much money. And so I'm going to travel the country for probably a good 5-10 years. Come spring, I'm going to get a van this winter and work on it, build it out, and I'm going to leave in probably spring. And I'm going to travel for a good 5 to 10 years throughout the whole country, maybe other countries as well, probably at least a couple other countries. And I'm going to find where I really want to live, where I really want to build a house. And throughout them 5 to 10 years that I'm traveling in van life and saving money, I'm going to be saving to build a house, my own house. Because a lot of people don't realize this. When you build your own house, you only spend half the amount of money which you would spend. Actually, it's a little under half about the average rate to build a house out by yourself. And I was in construction for a little over 9 years, so I know how to do all that stuff. I know how to frame, drywall, side, roof, paint, stain, lay carpet tile, install doors, windows, lights, doorknobs, drawers, cabinetry, what else? I know how to do pretty much most of it except electricity and plumbing. I know how to run wiring. I just don't know how to set up, your breaker box and set the main aspects of it up. I know how to run the wiring and certain things with it, certain plumbing things. Like I know how to install a toilet, but just not the plumbing to it. I know how to install most of your houseware, most of your appliances, like a stove, your washer and dryer. I can install that, stove, dishwasher, your sink, cabinetry, multiple different floors I've installed. I've drywalled for years. I've painted and stained for years. I've laid roofs for years. I started doing construction I started in roofing when I was 12 years old for my uncle. By the time I was 14, I was on the roof, hauling off shingles with a pitchfork, busting my butt at 14 with a pitchfork. By the time I was 16, I was laying shingles. My uncle ended up selling his roofing business, and my dad, like a year later, ended up starting he moved back from Montana and ended up starting up a construction company down in the Dells, him and his friend, his business partner. And this was later 90s, early 2000s. And this is when the Dells was booming big time. It was becoming the world's largest water park tourist attraction in the world back then when he started. And he started with a construction company that his friend was working at, his buddy, and they kept getting side jobs and kept getting more and more. And so they eventually just quit their job and they started this construction company. So I moved down there and I worked with them. I was out of high school. I was 18 actually. Just out of high school, I went down there to work for them, and they had already been doing it for a good almost 3-4 months with their own business. And then when I went